I think we absolutely have to talk about this Trump-Ukraine thing. And I'll be totally honest, what I'm most curious about is your take on this. I have seen two separate, slightly competing narratives that are being put forth by this. The first one, Europeans embraced Zelensky after he was vilified by Trump. That's one. The other one, fallout from Zelensky's calamitous trip to Washington is still widening. Now, if I click on this, you will see it is the same article. What's interesting is these are the two stances, and I don't believe these are totally mutually exclusive. Europeans are all rallying behind him, and they think Zelensky's performance was fantastic and very, how can we put it? I was going to say very stoic, very statesmanlike, and therefore he did a great job. And the other side of it would be Americans think Zelensky did a terrible, horrible, incredibly rude job. Now, those are not mutually exclusive. What is mutually exclusive is either Zelensky did a good job for Ukraine or a bad job for Ukraine. These do not match up. You can only have one or the other. Now, I suppose the real question here is, how do you view this? If you think that the Europeans are all European leaders are actually all rallying behind him in a super organic manner, which it doesn't seem to be organic because of the copy-pasted tweets from all these European leaders. That's a little bit weird, but maybe they're all busy. They don't have time to concoct a tweet, so they just copy and paste somebody else's. That's fine, whatever. Let's say they're all behind them. They should be. They have a lot more at stake here. They have a lot more skin in the game. And therefore, they should rally behind them in terms of, money, support, diplomatic, might. And they should be really helping out, as opposed to leaving it all to America. And here's the thing. It is all on America. And this would be the argument for why this was a terrible move by Zelensky. Because his main ally, the main engine of the country's continued defense of itself, is predicated on American support. So if you're going to come in and act rude to a person that probably Donald Trump does not respond well to rudeness, you're probably not doing a good job for your country. Now, there are several things that are not in this article that are in a couple of other places that I've heard that make sense as to why this might have happened. The things that I've heard that have been reported on were essentially that Zelensky was in contact with some Obama-era insiders, like a Susan Rice, Victoria Nuland, and these are the people that 2014, I believe, is when Zelensky gets in power in the Obama administration, and then certainly in the Biden administration, which was in many ways Obama 2.0, 3.0, because all of the staffers were very similar. Tony Blinken, Victoria Nuland, Susan Rice all had an enormous amount of power in the Biden administration as they did in the Obama administration. It would make sense that Zelensky has a far closer relationship with them and owes them a lot more. And therefore, he's much more willing to take advice from these people. The problem is, those people are super duper aligned against Trump. So much so that I would be unsurprised if they were to throw another country, Ukraine for example, under the bus to advance their own agendas, to advance the agendas of the Democrat Party. I would be totally unsurprised by that. Now, it might not be the case, but I do believe it's entirely possible. And the reporting is that these people, the Obama insiders, basically told Zelensky, hey, if you come out when the cameras are on, be very hostile to Donald Trump. Be very hostile and try to get him to blow up. Try to get him to act a fool. We'll be able to use that to bring your case to the American people. We'll be able to have the media spin this as Donald Trump is acting like a child, and you'll get more stuff. The problem with this idea, and perhaps this is why people are looking at Zelensky now as not a very deft politician, is that the Democrats, the American left, the Europeans are not in a position to negotiate this. They are not in power. They do not have the bargaining chips. The leverage is all on the side of Donald Trump and Putin. These are the people that you need to convince. These are the people that are going to actually be able to move the ground. They're going to be able to move you around. And therefore, taking the advice of someone who's basically just trying to throw the U.S. president under the bus when you need the U.S. president on your side is a bad move. Now, does this mean this is the end of Zelensky? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not really sure. I would be unsurprised if he gets dropped. Because if he is not a useful ally for, Europe, if he's not going to do a good job of defending Ukraine and being the diplomatic politician that he needs to be to secure a just peace or a, military support to defend his nation, I would hope that he gets, he resigns. He gets somebody else in there. But this is the question that I'm wondering about. Where do you come down on this? Do you think that Zelensky needs to be conciliatory? He needs to be polite? He needs to put on a good face, even with someone that he, maybe dislikes or disrespects, in the interest of his country? Or should he try to do this hostile, calculated attack, bringing his case to the American people with the hope that the American people rally behind him and against Trump? I'm not really sure. And I don't know which side of this argument is actually taking root. I don't know if it's people are rallying behind him. I don't know if that's true. This is a horrible, terrible, disastrous meeting. Certainly, I believe in the last few hours it's been reported that now, that mineral deal, which is what this fight was about, he's now totally willing to sign that deal. And again, look at this, the CNN. Just from CNN, Western allies rally around Zelensky. White House amplifies rave reviews for Trump's handling of Zelensky. Zelensky says Trump's backing is crucial. So what is it? Either this guy is a super important ally who's treating you pretty well, meeting with Zelensky before Putin, or trying to include Zelensky, we're trying to include Ukraine in this peace deal as much as is humanly possible. Okay, if that's the case, then you should probably be nice to the guy, right? You should probably attempt to be diplomatic. Or everybody's just, around you. All of these Western leaders, they're all coming to your aid. And you know what? You don't even need the U.S. The U.S. is a footnote, completely unnecessary. Which one is it? I know which one I think it is. Should we read this article? Mm-hmm. We'll read a little bit of it. Top U.S. officials are piling heat on Vladimir Zelensky, suggesting he may need to relinquish power after his disastrous Oval Office meeting, even as Europe embraces the Ukrainian president more tightly than ever. Now that is the question. Are they actually doing that? Or are they talking? They're saying, hey man, we support you, we support you, we support you, we support you. We don't support you enough to write our own tweets. We're going to copy and paste, but you know what? We totally support you. If that is all that counts, is, thoughts and prayers, well then yes, they're rallying behind you and you should feel totally relieved. But the other side of it is, well, this is it. The Keir Starmer. He's saying, hey, we're going to put boots on the ground. We'll put UK troops on the ground or, fly planes over this. Now that would absolutely be a step towards war. A much broader, much bloodier, much more potentially straight up World War III catastrophic move. And if that's the side you're going towards, if that's the side you gravitate towards, and you say, hey, you know what? This is what the neoliberal world order wants. You might be in for some bad news. Because luckily, hopefully, they are not in charge anymore. And luckily, Trump is pushing for peace, de-escalation, not World War III. Do you really want to continue this war with the potential for a Ukrainian victory, whatever that looks like, vanishingly small, and the continuance of this conflict being almost certain to escalate tensions and potentially escalate violence? Why would it be a bad thing for there to be a negotiated peace? I suppose this is the real question. Why would it be a bad thing for Donald Trump to end the war in Ukraine? Not saying the war in Ukraine is a just war, not saying there's anything good that came out of it, but why would it be a bad thing? With that, I will say that would be the question that I would want answered in the comments. Thank you for your time and attention. Good luck in all your endeavors. And I shall say farewell for now.